And this is 92.7 in Living Stereo. Music coming from out of the camp of Nasi. Mpaibo, he calls this one. I want to say thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I do love you. Coming all the way from the Prayer Palace International. He is a man who is very, very well traveled. He's been to Canada. He's been to America. And some other such countries, my brother, my sister, and is also bilingual. He speaks French and also English. Some other languages he will be telling you later. In the interim, my brother, my sister, Prophet Emmanuel Adjei is my guest from the Prayer Palace. My God, now this is a prophet. How come his church is not called the Prophetic Palace, but the Prayer Palace? It tells you the focus. It tells you where he wants to go. He's raising Christians and not the lazy Christians. He's raising Christians who will be able to pray, who will spend time praying, who will pray and pray without ceasing. Oh gosh. My name's certainly Black Rasta, Ghana's #1, Africa's finest. And this is 92.7 in Living Stereo. I want to say thank you so much. I do appreciate you. And we are live. Oh my God, join us live. Join us live on Facebook and other social media platforms where we are streaming and making sure that in the comfort of your homes, you receive us crystal clear. This is where the whole thing starts. We are heaven. Are you ready? This is the African History class, the 30th day of June, the last day of the month, 2023. And Prophet is in the house, Prophet Emmanuel Adjei. Prophet, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Black.
I am most excited to be with you.
I am happy to be here. Yeah. Always happy to be with you.
Oh my God, I've mentioned. Now, yesterday you were on social media prophesying left, right, and center. Born to prophesy.
Yeah.
And today you are here. It looks like you're not resting at all.
No. Black, there's a lot of work to be done.
Oh, wow.
And then I believe that when a man dies, he will rest enough.
Wow.
So whilst we are alive, we should work. Jesus said, I should work the work of my Father whilst it is still there. So I believe that since we have the strength to move around, we should help mankind. The biggest impact is to help someone, not to acquire wealth.
Wow. Wow. Now, so do you believe that when people die, they would come back to life again?
No, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in reincarnation.
Wow.
I don't believe in that. I believe that when a man dies, it is over. The next world is judgment. Then you transit to another world where it's either you go to hell, some call it Hades, or you go to heaven or paradise, wait for the day of judgment.
So when you are going to hell, are you going to hell in this body, or is it going to be another body? Would you still have teeth? Will you have a nose? What is it going to be like?
No, the human being is made up of body, soul, and spirit. The body rests on this earth.
Right.
Decisions are made in the soul, and the spirit remains in the spiritual realm.
Wow.
So when a man moves, when a man dies, the soul is dead, the body is dead. What is left is the spirit, and the spirit must move to the next world, the prophetic, the spiritual world. In fact, prophets operate in the spiritual realm. As we are here, there are two worlds here. We have the physical hemisphere and the spiritual hemisphere. So a physical man operates in the physical hemisphere, but a spiritual being operates both in the physical and the spiritual hemisphere. That is why we call some people spiritual men. We call them oracles. We call them prophets, because they're able to meander between the physical and the spiritual.
Right. Oh, so we are not going to rise in this same flesh, right?
No.
It's going to be a whole different thing.
It's going to be a whole different thing. The body will drop.
It
and
means
the spirit will move up.
It means I will not be able to recognize you on the day of judgment.
You will recognize me because our spirit connects.
Wow.
Haven't you seen that you meet somebody for the very first time, you don't know the person, you tend to love the person. And then you also meet somebody for the first time, you've never met the person before, but you don't like the person. The spirit connects, the spirit repels, it connects. So definitely will connect. the way I love you, I'll love you more.
Wow,
Yeah.
interesting. This is the African history class, and my guest is Prophet Emmanuel Adjei. Now, tell me, how did it begin for you? Where were you born, and to who?
Yep, I was born to Madam Naomi and then Mr. Kobina Adjei, and I was born in Sekendi, a small city in Sekendi, a small place in Sekendi called Asafo Street. That is where I was born to Madam Naomi, and then my father gave birth to me. My father married my mother, and they gave birth to me. But I've never seen my father before.
Wow!
Because it's believed that he was extremely rich. And then when they gave birth to me, that same day, he was being looked for by some political heads.
Oh.
And then we don't know whether he was arrested, he ran away, or they killed him. So today I don't have the full information. So I can't state it on authority that he died, he traveled, or he's alive. But I've never set my eye on my father before.
It must be very painful.
Very, very painful. But hey, I pray one day I will be able to see him.
When were you born? What year was that?
Black, you want me to say that?
Fire! Yeah, so people would know you better.
Yeah, I think it's better to know me as Emmanuel Adjei, the prophet, the lead pastor of Prayer Palace, and let's leave that for another day.
Is there a special reason why you don't want your date of birth out?
No, not really. No, not really. I just want to keep it private. You know, there are certain things I leave it for the family. Especially, I don't publicize my family. It is not because of anything. I want my private life to be private and my public life to be public. I used to do that a lot. It was not helping because everywhere you go, somebody knows you, and it's really it's funny. It's uncomfortable for me. So I decided to even take my family from the public eye and then be the Emmanuel Adjei. Just focus on Emmanuel Adjei, not on my children.
Let's look at your father. What kind of father was he? You said he was rich. What kind of business was he into?
He was into construction. He was into cement. I'm told that he used to be the head of Gasem in Takoradi. That's what I was told. And he was into a lot of properties, buildings and construction. Yeah, that's what I was told.
Did Rollins arrest him? Do you have any information?
No, I don't have any information that it was Rollins who arrested him. Yeah, but I'm told a political figure. I don't know whether it's Rollins or any other. Okay. Because my mother did not give me the full information, and it would be unfair to give out information to the public when you don't have the full information. But some say it's Rollins, some say it's somebody else, so I don't really know.
Wow, interesting. How many children did he have before he left?
I can't tell, but my mother had 5 children, and I'm not sure that it was my father who gave birth with my mother and with all the 5 children. I know I'm the only person.
Oh.
Yes, I'm the only person. But my mother had 4 other children, but unfortunately, she lost 3, and we are 2 left.
Do you know if your father had other children?
I was told that he had other children, but I don't know where they are.
Interesting. Your life is very, very much shrouded in secrecy and a lot of mystery. Yeah. Do you sometimes miss your father?
It's difficult to miss a man you have not seen. You understand? He has not been there, so it's very difficult. I wish I had a father, a biological father I can look up to, but I did not have. So I wish, but I don't say I miss him because I don't know him. It would be unfair to say you miss a person you don't even know. Let's say I'm here and I say I miss Timbutu. I've heard his name, but I don't know him.
I like that.
So
I like that.
It's gonna be difficult to miss him. I can't miss him, but I wish I had an encounter with him. But yes.
Interesting. Now, I mean, looking at your father, when Father's Day comes, what do you do?
I have a lot of fathers, spiritual fathers, mentors who have been very instrumental in my life, and I see them as father figures. So I appreciate them, and also as I see fathers in my church, I also appreciate them. So I see my father in the lens of those who held me in my upbringing.
Right.
It's not someone who gave birth to you alone can say you can call him a father. There are people who have contributed into your life positively, they are also father figures.
Interesting.
There are people in my church that they see me as father.
That's right.
And then I help them, and not their biological father, but I help them.
I'm going to come back to this, but let me look at this one briefly. When you were going to school, I believe you went to school, when people's fathers were coming to visit them and all that, did you miss your own father, or did you have somebody who stood in as a father figure?
My brother came to visit, so he stood in as a father figure in my life when I was in school. Yeah, so I'm not sure I missed.
Your elder brother.
My elder brother, yes.
Oh,
I don't know, Brookman.
Okay, so it means that your father, your mother actually had him before he had you with your father. Before he met your father.
Yeah. He had him. I think he's 7 years older than me.
Interesting.
7 years older. Yeah.
This is going to be the final question about your father, then we get into more serious things. Yvonne Nelson recently was talking about father. I don't know my father. I thought my father was this person and that person, and it brought about a lot of brouhaha. Do you see yourself in her shoes?
No, I don't see myself in her shoes.
How different is your situation from
God
hers?
has been faithful to me. You see, there is nothing you can do about your past. There's a little you can do about your present, but there's so much you can do about your future. In life, you should focus on the future, not on your past. It's past and gone. When you focus on your past, you lose direction. Because if I'm going this north, and then Black Rasta calls me from the south, and I turn and I give him attention, I have lost my cardinal point. But if I focus and move towards the north, I make progress. We should make progress, not stay at one point or go back. So I don't think it's necessary. I will not look back. I will just move on. God has been good to me. He's been good. Probably if I had a father, I wouldn't have been where I am today.
Wow.
Probably he would have introduced me into another thing. Probably would have introduced me to humanizing. He might introduce me into alcohol. Maybe God knew it, so deliberately he took my dad away from me and brought me right men who will help me become a better person. And I'm excited where I am. I'm making impact, and I know the future is better than now.
What was your upbringing like without a father? Tell me.
My mother played a very good role. My aunties played a very good role in my lives, and I come from a Christian home. So from get-go, they taught us that God is our father. So we look up to him, the author and the finisher of our faith. And they did their best.
Wow.
They did their best, yeah.
Wow. They did their best. You ate 3 times a day?
Yes. No, I couldn't eat 3 times a day because I come from a very poor family.
Oh, wow.
Then, very, very poor to the point that I remember my mom has to divide an egg among 5 siblings.
Interesting.
Yeah, 1 egg among 5 siblings.
Wow.
We didn't know where the next meal will come from. But one thing that kept me going, my mother will always tell us, the future is better than now. The future is better than now. The future is better than now.
What schools did you go to?
Black. I went to many schools.
Wow.
Some I don't even remember.
Wow.
Because of the way my life became. You have to live with this person a bit, live with that person a bit. So I kept changing school. A bit of St. Monica's. I went to Takoradi a bit. I went to Cote d'Ivoire a bit. I traveled a bit. So it's a whole lot of...
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Black, I keep telling people that my life is a testimony. To be where I am today is a huge testimony because I should be on the street. I should be in the prison or somewhere because I didn't have a very smooth life. But God, by his mercies, guided me through. That is why most of my messages are messages of hope, telling people that it is better. The fact that you do not have the opportunity like others had doesn't mean you cannot make it. You can still make it. If I'm able to make it and make impact and travel to all these 48 countries around the world,
wow,
then you can also make it. You can make it. You can make impact. Yeah.
Was Cote d'Ivoire the first country you visited outside Ghana?
Cote d'Ivoire was the first country I visited outside
What
Ghana.
was it like? What took you there?
It was ministry. At that time, my brother had a church there, and then I had to go visit him. So that was, I think, 2000. Yeah, thereabout.
And you went to Cote d'Ivoire?
Yeah, I went to Cote d'Ivoire.
You couldn't speak French?
I couldn't speak French. I came back, and I went again on mission purpose by myself. That is when I learned the French language.
Okay. Now, how did ministry come to you, apart from the fact that you were raised by a mother who taught you where God was and the church? How did it come to you? How did you become a pastor?
All right. The point, what happened is that, I said earlier that my family is made up of a lot of pastors.
Okay.
We have so many pastors in our family. And when I was born, as soon as I was born, my mother started training us, took us to church, and we moved from the Orthodox church. We went to the Pentecostal church.
Right.
And then I became born again in the Assemblies of God. Then my desire was gearing towards God. I was loving the things of God more. I didn't know it was ministry, but I love God. I love to pray. I remember at the age of 12, I was praying 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, 4 hours. I was praying 4 hours. That is the reason why I pray a lot. And
what kind of prayer was this that lasted 4 hours? What were you really saying?
we speak in tongues. I started speaking in tongues at the age of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I started speaking in tongues. I remember we went to church, and then they said the Holy Ghost is visiting us. And then take it, and we started speaking in tongues.
All of you?
All of us.
Interesting.
Yeah. I still remember my first tongue. Shalalalalala, shalalalala. It was interesting. And I was so excited because that was the only thing that gave me some fulfillment and some happiness.
Interesting.
And I had the opportunity to also have a brother who was also into ministry at that time. So I followed his steps, and then later moved in with him where he lived. And then the ministry started. And then he formed me. And today I am who I am.
Shalalalala, shalalalala. What's the meaning of that?
I don't know. Bible says when we speak in tongues, we speak not unto man, but unto God. We speak mysteries.
Interesting.
So I don't understand, but I'm speaking mysteries. In the book of Acts, when the guys were speaking in tongues, they did not understand what they were talking about. But the guys who came to trade at that time understood their language. Yeah.
Why is it that it's only people who want to speak in tongues that speak in tongues? Why are the Jehovah's Witnesses not speaking in tongues? Why are the SDA people not speaking in tongues?
What you don't believe in, you cannot have.
Oh, really?
If you don't believe in making money, you can never have money. If you don't believe in traveling, you can never travel.
Really?
If you don't believe in patois, you can't speak patois. You should first of all have a belief in what you are doing. You should love it. You should adore it. You should put premium to it before it will happen to you. Black, in this Christendom, some have become very rich. Some have become very poor. Some have become extremely powerful spiritually because of their belief system. Some believe that when you become born again, you don't have to be wealthy. You have to go to heaven. You go to heaven poor. Some also believe that God blesses. So after they become born again, what happens is that God will add money to their salvation. So it's your belief system and what you trust.
Interesting. So you were praying for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was all in tongues.
Tongues, and then also speak English, and then Chi. It's a long time. But I think I did more in the speaking in tongues.
Wow.
Because at that time it was a move of the Spirit. You know, when you speak in tongues and then you feel the presence of God all over you. I remember one time I was praying in the room and I felt the presence in the room. That was my first time. I could not move, but the only thing I felt was God. Somebody was communicating with me, and I was just speaking in tongues. I prayed for a very long time.
How did prophecy come to you?
Yes, what happened was that growing up at the age of 9, growing up, I realized that anything that happens, I will see before it happens.
Wow.
For instance, if you are visiting our home, I'll be in there in the morning. I'll have a feeling that a black is coming to the house.
Wow.
Within a short time, black comes in. I'll be there and I'll feel like a president is going to die. I tell those around me that I feel Abacha is going to die. I remember when Abacha died, I saw it 3 days before.
Wow.
I was just there and I said, I felt it. I didn't see, I felt it. So I said, Abacha will die on Monday. And he died on Monday.
That was surprising because the man wasn't even sick.
No, he was not sick. So I didn't even know much about him. So I just said it. So I'll be there and say, this car will have an accident and it will happen. Then later on, I realized my brother was also into the prophetic ministry. So through him, I understood my calling. Then I went under him to study the way it works, and I grew up in the process of time. It didn't happen in a day. It happened in the process of time. Yeah.
Interesting. Was there a time that any member of your family worshipped idols or something like that you were involved with?
No. My grandmother, I'm told my grandmother went to consult because she had one child. And it took a very long time for her to conceive the second one. So she went to consult, and then she gave birth to other children, right? And then they gave her some stuff to bring to the house and buried it in the house.
Wow.
But during the days of my mom, I don't know if you heard of Brother Aidan.
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
My mother went to Brother Aidan's crusade, and then they said, if anybody has an idol in the house, come forward. So my mother went forward. Brother Aidan went to Abakrampa, my village, and then they took the thing out. That is the only thing I know. But worshiping, I'm not too sure.
Interesting. Interesting. I was told there was a time that you had to share a room with a dead body. Is it true?
Yeah, it's very true.
Tell me about it.
We were super poor, to the point that my mother could not rent a normal house. She couldn't rent a normal place where people live. So in 2nd D, there was a particular house there. They have this room where if anybody dies in the house, that is where they do their final rites. So that was a particular room that my mother rented.
Corpse room.
Corpse room. So when anybody dies, we have to check our stuff out. They do their ceremony, and then on Monday, we check our things back in. Now, my mother could not go with me to live or stay with the friends. So I have to stay where the corpse is. One can pack our stuff there. I sleep and then make sure that nobody steals the little properties that we have. And then my mom goes to stay with the friends, and I stay there because she cannot be there. At least a little boy will be allowed. So it happened over and over. I had a bit of psychological. It affected me a bit. I thought life is all about this. But in the process of time, God healed me.
That's very scary. You were sleeping in the same room with a corpse.
Yeah.
One corpse, not two
at
corpses.
one corner, I will be at that side.
And sleep the whole night?
Sleep the whole night.
In the room alone with the corpse?
You have to sleep. You have to find a way to sleep.
Were you scared?
Maybe the first time, but subsequent ones, I think I was okay. I get used to it.
My guest in the studio is Prophet Emmanuel Adjei. Oh my God. And we're talking, he's an only child. Yes, an only child. He doesn't know his father. He's never seen his father. Maybe he's seen photographs of the father. Have you seen photographs of him?
No, sir.
Wow.
No, sir.
Wow. Never seen a photograph of his father.
Not seen the photograph of my
Never
father.
met his father.
Never met
But
my
you
father.
are a prophet.
Yeah.
Has God revealed to you what happened to your father?
Maybe I have not taken time to look that direction. You know, in the prophetic, you have to get an interest in a particular case before God will speak to you. So maybe since you've told me, I think I should look into that direction.
Wow. Interesting. So this is Prophet Emmanuel Adjei.
This is 3FM.
And we have a very beautiful conversation. Now, you are one of the topmost prophets of the land. In fact, you came in like a flash in a pan. Many people thought that you were going to dissipate and go away. But I was at your church the other day, and it's a whole city.
Wow.
It looks like you are a billionaire. Where is your money coming from?
Billionaire?
Yes.
No, I'm not a billionaire.
Very huge church.
Yeah, it's by grace.
On the Spintex Road, just opposite TB Joshua's church.
Yeah, it's
land values alone. Huge and big. And you have a whole city right there. Tell me, where is the money coming from?
I think I am a good manager. All right. One day, Bible says a man traveled and he gave talent to his servants. Now, when they received a talent, some went to trade with the talent, others kept it. Probably, I am able to keep and trade with the little God gave me. And I'm able to maximize it for you to see what you are seeing. Not that I have billions sitting somewhere, but I'm able to maximize the little thing that God has placed in my hand. As a Christian, you should be able to maximize the little blessing God gives you. Otherwise, you failed God.
Producer, put up a photograph of the prayer palace. Yes, prayer palace. In fact, the one right opposite the TV Joshua Church. I want the whole world to see this magnificent edifice. How long did it take you to build that?
One and a half years.
My God.
1.5 years.
My God. Do you do other businesses?
I do other small stuff there, but as I said, I'm very private. I don't bring those things out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Other
Now,
small things.
Now, you are a man of God that has stayed away from the controversial spotlights. Everywhere there is controversy, I have never heard your name in any controversy. I've been going through the internet trying to find out something controversial about you. What is it? Why are you running away from controversy? What is your secret?
Maybe because I am very shy. I'm a shy type, and I feel weird when my name is being mentioned in a negative way. Not because I'm a Christian, but because my personality doesn't support that. So I try as much as possible to stay very neutral, to stay in my corner. Number two, my assignment is too big. God has given me an assignment for Prayer Palace.
Wow.
Not for everybody.
So this is Prayer Palace. I mean, look at this magnificent edifice. Pink, look at the color, look at the number of cars parked there. Look at the beauty of a city. This looks like Jerusalem, somewhere in Jerusalem. And look at the kind of things that you see in this thing. And it's been built by a man. I'm not sure you've hit 40 yet, have you?
I've hit 40, I'm more than 40.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, you actually look like 35. Maybe we should find out what you've been eating and what you don't eat. Look how magnificent this building is. And it was built within 1.5 years.
Yeah, 1.5 years.
Before this building, where were you?
I was in America. I used to live in America with my family until God asked me to relocate back to Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've been in Ghana for 5 years. Prayer Palace is 5 years tomorrow. 1st of July, we are 5 years. Exactly 5 years.
So within 5 years, you built this city.
Yeah.
My God have mercy. This is interesting. And look at how beautiful it is.
We used to be in a small warehouse.
Warehouse?
Yeah, we used to be in a small warehouse. I think you know that, right?
Oh, okay, yes. Yes, on the Spintex Road.
On the Spintex Road.
Ah.
Coca-Cola runabout, thereabouts.
Yes.
So that's how we started. We rented a place for 2 years and then we moved to this place.
Tell me about the prophetic. Does it work? Is it something that works? Is it demonic? Is it a lie?
I'm a product of prophecy. So if it's a lie, then I'm lying to myself.
Wow.
The prophetic is real. The prophetic is super, super real.
It's not a trick.
It's never a trick. The Bible says, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I have read through scriptures and I've seen that the prophet of the old prophesy. Now, in the New Testament, Jesus prophesied. In the book of John chapter 1, the Bible talks about Jesus meeting Peter, mention his name, mention his father's name, and mention his future name. He met Andrew, he prophesied. Thomas, the doubting guy, he prophesied. Nathaniel, he even gave him his location and his village. So the prophetic is real. And Jesus said, these things you are seeing, you've seen nothing. Greater things you will see in the future. So Jesus even prepared us for the move today. So today we are seeing greater works in the prophetic ministry. Bible says in the book of Amos, I will do nothing unless I reveal it to my prophet, my servant. Now, God doesn't need prophets to work, but by principle, he wants to use prophets. And I think that is what is happening. By principle, he's using prophet, and then he cannot do it. He can do it without prophet, but he wants to reveal his secret to prophet. Anything that happens in a country, anything that happens in a family, anything that happens in the lives of an individual, God will definitely reveal it to a prophet.
Do you need a bodyguard?
I need a protocol. I will not use the word bodyguard. I need a protocol because I need assistance. Wherever you go, you need assistance. Sometimes you go to a place and because you are well known, right, it's become a bit uncomfortable. So you need somebody to help you so that at least you can move a bit faster. Sometimes somebody trying to even take picture with you alone can create a mess. So you need somebody to be with you to help you.
Interesting.
This is 3FM.
Prophet Emmanuel Adjei is my guest. Oh my God, have mercy. Within 5 years of coming to Ghana, he has built a mega city and it's known as the Prayer Palace International. My brother, my sister, this is the man we are speaking with. What do you tell people who do not believe in the prophetic?
I tell them they should come and try. Now, you see, when the Bible says they went to call a man in the Bible that Jesus is able to prophesy. He said, can anything good come out of Nazareth? He was doubting. What did he say? Come and see. Your encounter with a prophet will tell you whether he's a true prophet or he's not a prophet. Many people who did not believe in the prophetic ministry met me and now they believe. I remember one time I was traveling to America, from South Africa to America, and then in the flight, a man sat by me, and God gave me the name of the man. I mentioned his name. He laughed. He said, I'm popular. I didn't even know the man. He said, I'm popular. Maybe you found it on the internet. I mentioned the name of the wife. He laughed. The name of the son. He laughed. Now I entered into South Africa government, and the contract he attended, and the money is blocked. So when I mentioned, he sat up. He said, who are you?
Wow.
Then I introduced myself to him. He believed in my ministry and he became my partner.
Wow.
Are you understanding me?
Wow.
And in the flight, he picked a phone and called to verify the information I gave him. And it was true. So it's only an encounter with a prophet that will let you know whether it's real or it's not real. Until you have that encounter, you are permitted to doubt it. So make sure you find a good prophet, have an encounter with a prophet, and you will never doubt the prophetic ministry.
Did you go to a chair, or did you go to any other mountain? Did you have to do directions? Did you have to put things in your eyes and things to make you see the way you are seeing?
Strangely, I don't believe in a chair.
Wow.
I don't believe in mountains.
Wow.
I don't believe in going on those places.
Wow.
Those who go there, I am not saying it's bad, but I don't believe in it.
Wow.
I believe that God speaks to us everywhere and anywhere.
Interesting.
Number 2, I want to pray in a very comfortable and beautiful ambience to appreciate the beauty of God. I will not go to the bush where I will see cockroaches. I will see snakes. My God does not speak to me where there are snakes. My God can speak to me in a good hotel. So I will believe that I can go to a 5-star hotel, pray in that 5-star hotel. Let me enjoy whilst I'm praying. Let me see the beauty of God. Let me see what God can do. Let me go to a 6-star hotel and pray on the highest, the biggest room. And whilst I'm praying, I'm possessing the goodness of God. That's what I believe in. I believe in that.
Do you drink alcohol? Do you smoke cigarettes?
Never taken alcohol, never taken cigarette. Not because I'm a prophet, but because I don't like it. My body doesn't support that.
Growing up as a child, what were some of the things that you did that you regret today that you shouldn't have done?
To have a problem with somebody. To deliberately say I hate this person or I like this person. I remember one time when we were in school, all right, when I was in Westridge. There's a school called Westridge in 2nd D. And then I'm very good in mathematics.
Wow.
There's another guy who's also very good in mathematics. He's called Baini. He's now a medical doctor. The last time he came to my office and I reminded him. And what happened was that there was serious competition in the class. I'll be first, that kind of competition, unhealthy competition. So I didn't like him. And I don't know whether he also did not like me. We didn't like ourselves. But I don't know how to swim. So I used to live in 2nd year, as I said, and then it's called Bacano.
Bacano.
You know that bridge that divides the sea and then the Bacan. I stood on the bridge and I jumped into the Bacan.
Wow.
And I was drowning.
Wow.
It was the same guy that saved me. The same guy, I had a problem with him in school. He saved me.
Wow.
So when I came out from the water, I realized that your enemy might be your savior tomorrow. If that is the case, be at peace with all men.
Interesting. Have you had any problem with any pastor, any prophet? I know that this work that you do is full of enmity.
Yeah.
People talk ill about people, people fight people and all that. And I still wonder why it is so. Have you encountered that yet?
It's normal. It's normal. You know, the kind of grace you carry and the kind of speed I am going,
yes,
I will offend a lot of people. They will not like me. But to say X, Y, Z, I will not know. But I will know I will offend people. That is the reason why I keep to myself and focus on the assignment so that I don't aggravate the hatred and the envy in my camp.
Prophet Emmanuel Adjei is my guest. And he says tomorrow is going to be 5 years since that beautiful edifice came into this country, starting from a warehouse. My God. Bring back that edifice, that wonderful city called the Prayer Palace International. Oh my God. I see the lights. Anytime I drive around and I look at the lights and all those things, I marvel. You were able to put up that within 5 years. Look at it.
Within 2 years.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, within 5 years of coming to Ghana.
Yeah.
What is this thing about pink?
It's purple. I think the camera took it away, but it's purple. Purple is our color. All right. Our colors are purple,
this
gold,
purple. That's
purple,
right.
gold, and white. Purple is royalty. Gold is royalty. White is purity.
Wow.
So we're talking about it's called Prayer Palace. So there should be something royal.
That's right.
So we went for the purple. It's been our color from the beginning. When God gave me the vision in 2006, he showed me the purple, the gold, and the white. So whatever we do is purple. So you hear of purple, this purple, that they are all affiliated to our ministry.
Oh, so Purple TV belongs to you?
Yeah, Purple TV belongs to me.
My God, have mercy.
This is 3FM.
This man is a very rich man, you know. Purple TV is yours.
It's for the ministry.
Interesting. My God, have mercy. What? And look at there's so many different cars surrounding this building. Is it only rich people who come to your church?
No. I am there and I'm not rich.
Oh, somebody who owns Prayer Palace International Plus, Purple TV.
The fact that you are the president of the country doesn't mean the money belongs to you.
That's true.
It's wrong. It's only a bad leader who will put his hand in the coffers of the company and spend it. You are a caretaker. It's an abomination. It's unethical to say because the church is solid, I am also solid.
This
the
is
church
3FM.
might be solid, but it doesn't mean I am solid.
Wow.
I am a caretaker, and I must make sure what comes into the coffers is used wisely.
A lot of prophets in this country are affiliated to one political party or the other. Which one are you affiliated to?
None, because I pray for all of them. My duty as a prophet is to pray for leaders in government. So I pray for all of them. During my dedication, we saw the MPP people coming, we saw the NDC coming, we saw the other parties, they were all there. I have the 30th anniversary of MPP, I was there. I prayed for the president. When he came to NDC too, I was also there. I prayed for them. Sammy James's wedding, I was there to pray for him. So I pray for all of them. So you can't put me in a box and say I am for this particular party.
Interesting. Why did the NDC lose the last election?
It's a whole lot of. I think I explained it before the election. I gave a prophecy on that. It was negligence.
Negligence.
It was negligence. It was negligence, and then they were too comfortable.
Wow.
They were too comfortable, and they were not smart.
Negligence. They were not smart. They were too comfortable. Are they going to be negligent? Are they not going to be smart? Are they going to be too comfortable in 2024?
If they can hear me, they should be smart. They should not be comfortable. They should not be negligent. They should be very watchful.
By smartness, what are you talking about?
Oh, Black, are you not asking smart questions?
I am.
Yes. Don't we eat smart? Don't we drive smart? So in the political arena, they know. All right. Prophecy is an overview of what God is saying. So, if that issue is about you, you know what God is talking about. So they know. As I'm speaking, if they are hearing me, they know what I'm talking about. They should be very smart.
What do you make of people saying, "Oh, destiny"? If it's your destiny, no matter what, it will happen to you.
Yeah.
Whether you work towards it or not, once it is for you, it will happen.
It will happen, but it will happen at the time you are dying. All right? And sometimes you die without executing that destiny. There was a guy in my church, all right? I gave him a prophecy that he will own a bank.
Wow.
I saw it.
Wow.
My senior brother came, gave him the same prophecy, you own a bank. Another prophet came, prophesied the same thing, you own a bank. And these are three different people who don't know themselves, right?
Wow.
They all gave him the prophecy, you own a bank. He died.
Without the bank?
Without the bank. Did God lie? God did not lie.
Maybe the prophets lied.
No, the prophet did not lie. The issue is that he did not work on the prophecy. He was negligent. He allowed the enemy to take his life. Now, in the prophetic, there are two ways by which prophecy will come to pass. There are the conditional prophecies and the unconditional prophecies. One day, a guy was very sick, and Jesus went there to pray for the guy. And the disciples said, "What did he do that he's sick?" And Jesus said, "He did not do anything, but for the glory of God to be seen. That is why he's there." So God deliberately kept the guy there for his own glory. So there are certain problems God himself created so that he will take the glory. That is unconditional. There's nothing the guy will do unless God himself comes in to heal him. That is what we call the conditional. And 90% of prophecies are conditional. When the prophecy comes, what happens is that there are things you must do to activate it. I remember one of my cousins was married and she found it difficult to conceive. So I was preaching in Community 25. In the preaching, God said, "Go to her house."
Wow.
So right after preaching, I drove straight to her house at midnight. And I said, "God says I should come here. Where would you keep your daughter your son, when you give birth to him, he said, this room. God said, anoint the room, let them shut the room. They should not open the room until she conceives.
Wow.
So she swept the room, cleaned the room, anointed the room. I said, shut it. The room was shut. The same month, she conceived. Same thing happened in Cote d'Ivoire. A woman who came to see me with a husband. No, I was prophesying and I picked her. And I said, you are married for so many years without a child. God says, you give birth to a girl. Make sure you buy things that girls will need. So she bought everything according to them. I left to the US. I came back after 3 years. She had not conceived yet.
Wow.
So she came back to me and she asked me, Prophet, you prophesied to me, it has not come to pass. Let me digress a bit. Anytime a prophet gives you a prophecy and it has not yet manifested, go back to him and remind him that this prophecy you said, this what you said, it has not yet manifested. He must go back to God for God to tell him why the thing did not manifest. Now back to the same story. Now I held her hand whilst we were praying. God says she bought everything and left comb.
Wow.
So she go and buy the comb. She bought the comb that same month she got pregnant.
Wow.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 1. If you shall fully obey this commandment, I the Lord, I will bless you. So in the prophetic, there are conditions that you must follow. Naaman, go and wash yourself. How many times? 7 times. He washed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He was not healed. But the 7th dip, he was healed.
Interesting.
So sometimes you must follow the instructions to the letter.
This is 3FM.
Timothy, my son, wage a good war with the word of prophecy you have received. Yeah.
2 things I'm going to say very quickly. Now you have lived in America, you've lived in Canada, you've traveled around the nations of the world.
Yeah.
You said 48 solid countries
Yeah.
of the world. So you know so much about traveling.
Yeah.
Why is it that every time you talk about demons, it's all about Africa and these are the people who are killing you? But when we go to America, it looks like we don't have those kind of demons there.
Black. What's your research? You heard it. I'm a prophet. I go there and they do psychics. They do blood rituals.
Yes.
I get them. All right. It happened when I preach in white churches. I pick those cases.
Really?
Yes, I pick those Black American churches. Sometimes I take them back to Haiti.
Black Americans. We are still talking about black people. I'm talking about white people.
White people. I preach in white church, and some do psychics. They go to psychic. They go to palm reading. They do palm reading. They do crystal ball and all those.
I am happy you're talking about crystal balls and these psychics and all that. I'm talking about your grandfather was a
Exactly.
wizard.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that every territory and the demon that operates there.
That's right.
When you come to Africa, there is no snow. When you go to America, there is snow.
Yes.
Now, when I am in Ghana, hardly do I prophesy with zip code and postcode.
That's true.
Because there is no zip code, there is no postcode. It doesn't make sense. Now, when I am in America, when I'm in Europe and I'm prophesying, I prophesy with zip code, street numbers, house numbers. The next person, the one in America, will say, why don't you do that in Africa? Because it doesn't exist in Africa. Now, when you come to Africa, what exists here is what we address. God will open your eyes based on what is happening in that particular location. So in America, what they go through is what God will tell you. When you come to Africa, what happens here is what we go through. Maybe that side, their fathers don't fight their children. But in this country, fathers, mothers fight their children. When you go to America, a white pastor and another pastor comes to town, that pastor will help that pastor to establish a church. But in Ghana, start a church close by another church. He will do a whole series and tell his members you're a demon. So the way we operate there and the way we operate here, they are 2 different things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Prophet Emmanuel Adjei.
This is 3FM.
Prayer Palace International. He's sitting right here. Tomorrow, this church will be 5 years in Ghana.
5 years in Ghana.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Before then, he was in America and he heard the voice of God telling him, hey, move out. Just like Jonah was told to move to the people of Nineveh. And he obeyed the voice of God and moved over to Ghana. He started off in a warehouse, hot warehouse. He had to put in air conditioners and all that.
Yeah.
And when he was moving from there, he brought out the carpet and cut all those things into pieces and gave out to his church members.
Yeah.
What kind of direction was that?
Black, are you aware that we didn't talk about this one? When God asked me to come to Ghana, right? God told me specifically, don't raise funds for the property.
Wow.
So I took everything I had. At that time, this I'm not shy to say because it's my testimony. I had $250,000 in my account.
$250,000.
I emptied to the latter.
I haven't seen that money before.
Oh, really?
250,000 American dollars.
I emptied it. What was left in my pocket was 31 Ghana cedi.
Oh gosh.
31 Ghana cedi. I didn't have a car. I didn't have anything. It was in Buakwa, who used to pick me to church. So I go to church early in the morning and leave late in the evening because I had emptied everything. I couldn't even eat 3 square meal. I left America, left all the goodies in America, and I came here.
Into a warehouse?
Into a warehouse. And God said, use whatever you have. Now, when all was said and done, God said, you've passed the exam. I will honor you. So people thought probably I came to Ghana with millions of dollars. No, I came with a word. And I came with sacrifice. And God has honored his word and he has honored our sacrifice.
So when you were cutting the carpets into two, cutting them into pieces and sharing them among church members, what was it?
I was building altars for them. You know, that is where God started with us. If you're a student of the Bible, you realize that David, when he was a shepherd boy, he had a specific outfit that he wore. Now, when he became a king, he did not throw it away. He hung it in the palace. So when the ladies were singing, Saul had killed 1,000, but David had killed 10,000. He will turn his eyes and look at the garment and remember where he came from. And he humbles himself.
Interesting.
In the same way, this is the place God honored us. So not all members, specific people who started with us, those who were there for me, I gave them a portion, I kept my own, so that in the next 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, you can pick it up and say, this is how we started, this is where we started, and this is how far God has brought us. Because we are about to develop our 200-acre land. Yeah, so
200-acre
when we get to that land, we can look back and say we started in that small edifice.
So apart from prayer palace that we're seeing here, and you can see the whole building moving like an earthquake. Watch it, it's moving as if it's on an axis, you know, and see how beautiful this edifice is. You still are going to develop a 200-acre piece of land. Where is that?
Around the Ibri area.
So this is not enough, you're going to build again.
You know, when I came to Ghana and we started that small place, we're excited. We're super excited. And the day of dedication, God said, this is not the place. Now, when we're building this auditorium, getting close to dedication, God said, this is not the place. And then God said, I will now show you the location.
Interesting.
And I saw 200 acres.
You bought it?
We're in the process.
This is 3FM.
Interesting. Prophet Emmanuel Adjei is my guest in the house, and we are having a conversation. Why do you... Well, I'm going to hold this for the time being, but let me ask you this. The prophetic, the prophetic. Tell me, which is the most embarrassing prophecy you've ever given? You gave it out, it didn't work, and it didn't work. It was embarrassing to you. Tell me.
Well, I remember maybe in the early stages of my ministry.
Okay.
Maybe in the early stages where you mention a name, the person will say it's not me.
Okay.
You mention the detail, it's not true. It's very embarrassing, but I did not give up.
Wow.
Because I think my mentor told me that this is how it works. You can always not get it right. And also it helped me because he told me that it's all about God, not you. So when you mention a detail and the person says it is not true, it is God, it's not you. You are just a messenger. Move on to the next stage.
So God lied.
God did not lie, you did not hear it well. Once have I spoken, twice have you heard.
Interesting.
Yeah, so listen, Black, the things that we know about God is just 0.01%. Prophecies that are given is less than 1% of the total information that is given.
Wow.
So we should be very careful saying, say, Mashan Committee, it's final. If I spoke, it's final. After I've prophesied, nobody can change it. Hey, God can change it.
Interesting.
God can change it.
Wow.
God can change it. Don't embarrass yourself. Don't embarrass. When it comes to God, be careful you don't embarrass yourself. Otherwise, He will put you to shame.
Wow.
Because He's omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. And He's a loving God. Look at Hezekiah and the prophet. a whole prophet went to Hezekiah and said to Hezekiah, you will die. The guy prayed to God and God changed his mind. Look at Jonah and then Nineveh. Same happened. That's the reason why Jonah was running away.
Powerful.
Because this God can change his mind. So if you are prophesying, leave a gap that if God changes his mind, don't take the glory. When it comes to pass, don't take the glory. When it fails, don't take the glory. Don't take the embarrassment. When it fails, don't take the embarrassment. When it comes to pass, don't take the glory.
Which is the weirdest prophecy you have ever given?
Strangers. Yeah. Yesterday, I think Giovanni asked me the same question. It's in Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire, I was ministering in Côte d'Ivoire. And then a lady sits before me and I called her. And I said, God is telling me this is not a dream. A spirit came to your room, physical, and told you, follow me. And say, yes. You followed the spirit to a river. Now, a beast came from the river and then opened its mouth and asked you to put your finger in its mouth, and a ring entered your finger and warned you, never tell anybody.
Wow.
In Côte d'Ivoire. Since that day, you tell people you are married and your husband is in France. You say yes. And the spirit said, the day you tell anybody, it will kill you. So for 5 years, the lady was walking with a ring on her finger without being married. And then the spirit will come to her room and sleep with her every night and leave. And she burst into tears. The spirit manifested. Black. Wow. God is my witness. She broke more than 40 chairs.
What?
People started leaving the church.
What?
That was the time I realized that, hey, Emmanuel Adjei, what have you put yourself into? The lady could jump up and suspend in the air.
Hey!
It took us 2 hours to deliver this lady.
My God.
It became news in that community that our church grew because they'd never seen this kind of thing before. As I'm talking, she's now legally married and she has children. In 2006.
Wow, she was suspended in the air.
Yeah, you lay your hands on her and she jumps up. You could see that a spirit is holding her, saying, I will not allow her to go. That was a terrible deliverance since that day. And then also in Porto Novo, in 2010, I went to preach for a pastor called Paul Adjei. And then whilst I was ministering, I called the man. And the man's family, they have this voodoo in the family. So whilst I was ministering, his body opened.
Hey.
And I saw blood spilling.
Wow.
Physical.
Wow.
And it closed back. And the flesh covered. Life at Porto Novo. Black, we have seen things. We have seen things. Yeah, so these are the 2 instances that I can't forget.
Why do you give weird directions? Or go and find a fish, cut off the head, put another lizard's head around it, bury it in the middle of the night, pick up a bottle instead of using it to fry eggs and eat good food. You're supposed to take it to a certain junction, break it and all that. Why the wastage?
I don't remember giving fish cutting off the head of a fish.
Yes, I mean other prophets as in.
I can speak to what I do, not to what other prophets do. We have what we call the mysterious prophet. In fact, we have 5 types of prophets. Okay, we have 5 types of prophet. Number 1, we have the prophet that are called. We have the called prophet. In Ephesians chapter 4, he gave some prophets, some this, some that, some that. So he called some to be called prophet because of time. Number 2, we have what we call the made prophet. Some are made. Elijah and Elisha. Elisha was not a prophet. Elisha was a farmer. Then once Elijah was walking, he met Elisha and dropped his garment on his shoulder or his cloak on his shoulder. He said, follow me. Now he went back and sold all what he has and followed him. Now Elijah trained him to become a prophet. So the guy was made from the hands of Elijah. God did not call him. God did not anoint him. It was Elijah who said, follow me. So Elijah made him. Now we have what we call the mysterious prophet. There were a group of guys who were prophesying not in the camp of Jesus. They were very mysterious. They were doing some strange things. So the disciples of Jesus stopped them. In the book of Mark chapter 9, verse 38 to 39. They stopped them. Hey, don't do what you are doing. You are strange. You are doing this. This is not the kind of prophecy that we like. So they went to Jesus and said, Jesus, we found these few guys who were prophesying strangely. So we stopped them. Jesus said, don't stop them, because they are prophesying in my name. So I came to realize there are people who are not conventional. They're not the kind of prophets that you think they are educated, they are organized, but hey, probably God has called them.
Are you conventional or unconventional?
I am all round.
All right.
I do what God has asked me to do.
So sometimes you can be weird as well.
Sometimes weird.
Which is the weirdest direction you've given to somebody?
50 days fasting and prayers.
50?
50 days fasting and prayers.
50?
50. We did 50 days fasting and prayers. When we were building our auditorium, the first, I think it got to a time we needed filling sand. When we were done with the trenching, we needed filling sand. The whole of our crowd would not find sand.
Wow.
There was no sand, and God said it's highly demonic. So he said, organize 50 days. So I declared 50 days fasting and prayers for the church and for my members.
And you did it from 6 to 6?
From 6 to 6. The main leaders were doing dry. In between, we're doing dry. The first week, we had 200 trips of sand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you asked anybody to go and sleep in the cemetery before?
Never.
Do some directions in the cemetery?
It will never happen.
Never happen.
And then we have the born prophet. That is me. Jeremiah, before you were created and formed in your mother's womb, I made you a prophet. So some are born prophet, and the last group is a fake prophet.
They can prophesy at will.
At will, that we are born prophet.
Prophesy to me.
You shall be the head and not the tail.
Amen. Amen. The head and not the tail.
This is 3FM.
I asked the Hare Krishna man who came here the other day, do you know when you will die? And he said, yes. Do you know, prophet?
No, I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. God has not told me.
God hasn't told you?
Yeah, because the assignment is huge.
It's huge.
I am yet to start. I have not started. The only thing God told me is that you have not started the assignment. Get ready. I am about to surprise you.
2 more questions and we are done. I'm taking you to Nogbopo. All the way in the Volta region. A prophet, better still, Archbishop Ajinasare. I was in a certain tango with Nogbopo. What do you make of what happened?
Okay, I was in Canada when I heard the story, and I think the people were extremists.
Okay,
they were extremists. Right? Okay, they went too much. The man came and then made a statement. He's a statesman. He has been in ministry for years. All right, he has a track record. He's not the kind of man that creates controversies.
That's true.
He has a good track record, and then he slips. All right, and makes a statement. Now he comes back to the same location and retracts. I think he should die there. Now you overstretch the issue. Do you have personal interest? Why do you want to overstretch it? And hey, I said, if Archbishop had gone to Nogopo, I would have stopped worshiping God.
Wow.
No, I would have stopped.
On his going to Nogopo?
Yeah, I would have, because I would feel so ashamed.
Wow.
I would feel so disappointed, because we see him as a father.
Wow.
We see him as a mentor. We see him as a leader. We see him as a pace-setter. Now, you leave our territory and go there. No. Then I will feel disappointed.
I'm sure the Nogoko people are going to be listening to you, and they are going to visit you too. They might call upon the gods to deal with you. Are you scared of the gods?
Oh, deal with me. Oh, please. And I respect every religion, but they can't do anything.
Wow.
Our soul, our body is in the hands of God. If God has not predicted our death, it will not happen. Bible says, a curse without a cause shall not hold. I have not disrespected them. I have not abused them. I said they were extreme. They went to the extreme. The man came back. Listen, we offend people. As we are talking, I can offend black. You tell Prof, one can say, yeah, oh, black, I am sorry. We leave it there. Now, if you want to overstretch it, what is your interest? Do you have a personal interest in the situation? Do you hate me and you can't say it? So I think they overstretch it. So I don't think I hate them. But they should just drop it off.
You are a prophet and you see so many different things.
Yeah.
Have you seen some people around who are fake prophets, like you mentioned? Have you seen some in the country?
I know they are fake prophet,
Good.
But cannot pinpoint this person or that person.
Is it that you don't know them by name?
I have not really taken notice of that.
All right.
As I said, in the prophetic, you have to have an interest and say, okay, let me now go for the fake prophets. But I'm just 5 years in Ghana, and there's so much work to be done. So it would be unfair to leave the assignment God has given to me on the Sprinter's Road and go looking for who is fake and who is not fake. I have lost my calling. I want to be in the will of God.
Today is Friday. A lot of churches are going to be having all night. Are you going to have one too?
Yes, I have a service today.
Wow.
But my focus is not today. My focus is from Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Sunday, I am organizing one of the biggest programs ever.
Wow.
I am versatile. By the grace of God, I pray, as you said, every evening, 11 p.m., we are online praying. Like now, tonight we are praying 11 p.m. From Monday to Friday, every 11 p.m., we are praying on all the social media platforms, on Prophet Emmanuel Adjei, Facebook, Prophet Emmanuel Adjei on YouTube, Prophet _Emmanuel_ on TikTok, and also on YouTube, and also on Zoom. That's what we do. I preach, I teach my people. But I'm a prophet. I'm a born prophet. So occasionally I become me. We get into the prophetic, get into the past of the people, their present and their future, and diagnose things that only the Savior knows, and what God wants them to do, and what God wants them to know. And it's back again, Born to Prophesy. We call it BTP. From this Sunday through to next Sunday, 2nd to the 9th of July. 2nd to the 9th of July. Every evening, it's happening at the beautiful edifice that you show there, Prayer Palace. Prayer Palace is off the Spintex Road, at Mane Junction. Just ask for Prayer Palace, and every evening we are there. The good news is that even if you don't drive, in the evening, there are buses available to take you back to the nearest location so that you can go home.
From the Prayer Palace?
From the Prayer Palace.
You are providing buses?
Free buses.
Wow.
For everybody who comes. If you don't drive, or if you don't want to drive. Some drive, but they don't want to drive at that time. You can still come after service. There are buses available for you.
What message do you have for the nation in terms of the elections and in terms of general things about the nation?
There is hope for the future. Bible says when a tree is cut off, it shall spring forth again. At the moment, Ghana is in a ditch. At the moment, Ghana is suffocating. At the moment, Ghana is crying for water. Ghana is crying for breath. But there is hope. Bible says, say to the righteous, it is well with their soul. We've been there before. The famine, the 1981-82 famine, God brought us out. He will bring us out again. Now, number 2, this country is not in the hands of politicians. It should be in the hands of God. It should be in the hands of God. I pray that we go back to our Maker and tell God to take over the wheel and drive the country. Because gradually, those we trusted are failing the country.
Prophet Emmanuel Adjei, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show, and we appreciate you for making time to come over to talk to us. If there's any other thing you want to say,
Black, I want to invite you to BTP.
For real, I'll be there.
Good. Thank you so much. And I want to invite everybody. Listen, probably you don't believe in the prophetic ministry. Come to Prayer Palace. Somebody has duped you using the prophetic ministry. God still has genuine prophet in this end time. God still has genuine prophet in this end time. Come to Prayer Palace. This week, you will experience God in a higher dimension. God will use his servant to be a blessing to you. God will use his prophet to speak into your family, into your marital life, into your financial life. Some of you just need a father to even give you a hug. We will give you that hug. We'll help you. Someone like Yvonne Nelson, she has to come to the program.
Wow.
Yes, invite her, tell her.
Yvonne Nelson.
Tell her, I think she should come.
I wish I could call her now and put her online.
She needs prayers.
Oh, she needs prayers.
Yeah, I think she's going through a lot now. And she needs somebody to help her.
She loves this show. She listens to this show. Tell me, what have you seen about her?
Oh, no, we can't say it. We don't want more trending news. Yeah, but we have to pray for her. It's not easy for her.
It's not easy.
It's not easy for her. She'll show tough. But I know it's not easy for her.
What?
It's not easy for her. God will be with her.
God will be with her.
Yeah.
God will be with her. So, Yvonne Nelson, I know you love this show, and the prophet is telling you that make sure that you find time and come over to the Prayer Palace International, and make sure that when you arrive, you certainly will look for him.
Yeah.
He says that God needs to touch you in one direction or the other.
Not in a bad way.
Of course.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Don't take it wrongly. Not in a bad way. All
Not
right.
in a bad way.
Yeah.
Everybody needs God.
Yeah.
And he says, come. He has a very special message for you. Okay. All right. So, Prof, I want to say thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you and
Black,
I love you.
I always enjoy your interviews. This is a hot seat. Thank you. Thank you, Black.
I appreciate you,
All
Prof.
right.
Thank you so much. All right. So, my guest has been Prophet Emmanuel Adjei. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.